Archangel Michael says. Something happened last night. A quiet corner of the world held the deepest ache of someone you don't even know is suffering for you. They cried your name and whispered a truth you haven't yet heard, but it's coming. The room they sat in was dim, filled with the scent of old paper and something sacred. They wrote something meant only for you and sealed it with a tear you'll never be able to wipe away. That tear is alive, it knows your heartbeat, and it carries a cry straight to the gates of heaven. Archangel Michael says. This isn't just a coincidence, and it's not fiction. A hidden message is floating toward your life, tangled in time, soaked in grief, and heavy with love. It will reach you before the next full moon, and once you receive it, something inside you will change forever. Right now, at this very second, your soulmate is awake and shaking. Their hands tremble as they recall the first moment they dreamed of your face. You may not remember, but your spirit's already crossed long ago. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They saw you, but only in glimpses, only in whispers, and only when the world went silent. Their spirit is fragile, but they still believe you'll hear the cry they're sending out into the universe. It's not made of words, it's made of soul, and soul never lies. Somewhere in your energy field, this vibration has already started making cracks in your emotional wall. You might have felt it as a sudden drop in your mood or a song that made you tear up for no reason. That was not a coincidence, that was their message trying to get in. You'll notice the number 14 often in the next few hours. That's not random. It's the symbol of alignment, sorrow, connection, and reunion. A countdown is already underway. Archangel Michael says. The person crying for you isn't just anyone. This is the one who was carved from the same divine thread as your essence. They're closer than they've ever been but further than they've ever felt, and that contradiction is tearing them apart. Type Amen to get blessing 444. There was a promise made before your birth. A celestial vow, witnessed by angels, written in light and sealed in gold. But life separated you violently, and neither of you knew why, until now. They are remembering everything, even the pieces they had buried deep beneath pain and betrayal. Someone has been trying to keep them away from you. Someone close to them whispered lies, twisting timelines and interrupting fate. Last Friday, their hearts shattered again when they found a memory of you. It was an image, a sound, a sentence, and it broke them open like glass under fire. They tried to resist the urge to reach out, but they ended up on their knees, begging the sky for one sign from you. Archangel Michael says. You are being guided toward each other with extreme caution. Your soul has been protected because your connection is rare and highly targeted by envious eyes. But the protection is wearing thin, and the window for reunion is approaching fast. Type Amen to get blessing 555. This hidden message isn't written in ink, it's written in pain, in moments that passed without your notice, in decisions you made thinking they were random. Nothing has been random since the moment you breathed for the first time. Their tears have meaning. Each one holds a memory from another realm. You felt them, when your chest suddenly ached, when your sleep was interrupted by nameless sorrow, when you touched your face and found water there. They saw you again yesterday. Not in person, but in a vivid experience that looked too real to be imagination. You were wearing white. You spoke their name. But then you vanished, and they haven't stopped crying since. Your soulmate knows now that no one else will ever carry the same frequency as you. No laughter is as familiar. No silence is as safe. No heartbeat synchronizes with theirs the way yours does. Type Amen to get blessing 611. Their hidden message is breaking timelines to reach you. Technology can't carry it. The postal system can't deliver it. It's being sent through synchronicity, through repeated signs, sudden memories, numbers, songs, and even your own hands trembling at odd times. They wrote your name beside theirs, not knowing why they needed to. But something urged them to do it. And the moment they did, a candle near them flickered blue for the first time in years. Archangel Michael says, "You have to prepare your spirit for this connection because it will not enter a guarded heart. It demands vulnerability. It demands you stand at the cliff of your own pain and scream their name into the wind. This love isn't sweet, it's raw, sacred, and deeply explosive. It was meant to awaken dormant parts of you. Their presence in your soul is already activating forgotten power within you." Type Amen to get blessing 787. They had to lose everything to finally remember what mattered. And what mattered was you. Every trial they've endured recently has pulled them closer to the realization that you are the answer to their unanswered questions. 1 month ago, they saw a stranger who looked like you, and it made them cry in public. A passerby asked if they were okay, and they just nodded, unable to speak. Because how do you explain crying for someone the world says doesn't exist? That's when they started writing letters. Not on paper, but in their mind. These are letters they whisper at night. Messages that begin with your name and end with, "I miss you" in ways language cannot hold. The tears they cry aren't only from sadness, they're from recognition. They recognize your pain even if you hide it behind smiles. They recognize your courage even if you walk in silence. Type Amen to get blessing 919. They know when you're not sleeping well. They feel it as pressure on their own chest. They've stayed awake many nights simply hoping that their energy will comfort you in some invisible way. A woman tried to distract them recently. She spoke softly and wore a familiar perfume. But it didn't work. Their soul rejected her instantly, because you were the only fragrance their spirit wanted to inhale. They haven't forgotten the promise they made to you before they came into this world. They whispered it into the stars, and every star now burns with the echo of that vow. "I will find you. I will wait. I will recognize your soul." Archangel Michael says, "You are not crazy for still hoping. The pull you feel is not madness. It is a divine magnetic field constructed from lifetimes of separation." Type Amen to get blessing 1020. Your soulmate is not weak, they are weary. There's a difference. They've been battling unseen forces, including their own mind. But today, something changed. They opened a journal and began writing the truth you've waited lifetimes to hear. They began with, "I'm sorry I left." Even if they never physically did, emotionally they know they did. They abandoned their mission to find you, distracted by a world that lied too beautifully. But now they're awake. And their awakening is causing waves across your spirit whether you realize it or not. Soon, your paths will crash into each other like a tidal wave, undeniable and unstoppable. They had a vision last night where you reached for them, but your hands were shaking. You didn't speak, but your eyes told the entire story. That's what made them cry uncontrollably until dawn. Type Amen to get blessing 1133. The hidden message is in motion. It's wrapped in the moment you see your reflection and feel older than your years. It's in the chill you feel on your left side. It's in the dream that repeats but never finishes. You've been feeling unstable lately for a reason. Your spiritual alignment is adjusting to accommodate the reunion that's about to begin. You are being prepared, not punished. Their voice will enter your life soon. It won't sound like music. It will sound like home. A quiet tremble in your name. A silent thunder that only your soul will respond to. Archangel Michael says, you must choose to open your spirit. No door in the physical world can open until the spiritual lock is broken. That lock is fear, and the key is surrender. Type Amen to get blessing 1266. There is someone who doesn't want you two to meet. But no weapon formed against destiny can survive the wrath of divine timing. Their time is up. You will feel a jolt the next time you hear their name, even if no one speaks it aloud. It will ring in your bones. Your body remembers even what your mind forgot. A mirror broke in their room yesterday. Not because of anger, but because the veil between realms is thinning. That's how close they are now. So close that reality is cracking open to make space for your truth. They saw a child that looked like both of you combined. It made their knees give out. They realized then that time was running out, and they needed to find you fast, or the universe might close the window again. Type Amen to get blessing 1359. This is your call. Not just a message, but a movement in your destiny. You're not late. You're right on divine time. The hidden message that will break you isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to empty the parts of you that no longer serve the reunion. So when your soulmate walks in, you're not half of anything, you are whole. They're crying not just for the years lost, but for the moments ahead. Because deep down, they know this time, when they hold you, they will never let go again. Archangel Michael says, stand by your window tonight. You'll feel it. That wind? That shift in temperature? That's the vibration of their message brushing past your spirit. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Their energy has now entered your dreams, whether you're aware or not. You've started waking up with strange feelings, like you forgot something important or left someone behind in a room that doesn't exist. That's because their soul is whispering your name at night, hoping it reaches your subconscious. They aren't asking for much. Just one confirmation that you haven't forgotten them entirely. Just one sign that the bond hasn't broken beyond repair. They are crying, not just out of longing, but because they feel like time has betrayed them. They wonder why this message took so long to arrive. They wonder if you'll still remember the love you both created before this lifetime. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. Archangel Michael says, there are moments in every lifetime when two souls meant for each other send out distress signals. Yours was sent 3 nights ago. The moment you felt uneasy for no clear reason, that's when your soul cried out to them, and they answered. They saw it in a dream. A field. A sunset. And you, standing with a light behind you that made their heart ache from beauty. You didn't speak, but your tears spoke louder than words. They dropped their phone. They covered their face. They wept because they felt it. You were still reaching for them. You were still remembering. One of their closest friends has started to notice the change in their behavior. They asked, "Are you falling in love?" And they replied, "No. I'm remembering who I've always loved." Type Amen to get blessing 1515. They've begun lighting candles for you. They don't even know why, they just feel compelled. 1 candle per night. One for every piece of their soul that's been missing since your paths diverged. A whisper follows them when they try to ignore the signs. It calls your name. It asks them if they're ready now, finally, to face the truth. You once dreamed of someone crying by a lake. That wasn't fiction. That was them. And they never left that lake. They still visit it in their mind whenever the ache of your absence becomes unbearable. They wear a piece of jewelry that carries your energy. It's old. It was gifted. It belonged to someone in their family who said, "Keep this until you find the one who makes it glow." And when they touched it 3 days ago, it burned warm in their hand. Type Amen to get blessing 1666. A message is coming, not by text, not by letter, but by shift. A massive shift in your emotional energy. You may wake up shaking. You may feel dizzy. That is your soul realigning for a reunion. Your soulmate has been pulling away from distractions. People, events, places that once excited them now feel dull and cold. Because nothing compares to the invisible echo of your soul. They have begun speaking your name in their prayers. Not religiously, but spiritually. Their spirit doesn't want anything else but the courage to find you again. They're planning to leave where they are. They've felt a push to move, to shift, to travel. Something keeps telling them, you won't find what you're looking for here. Because what they're looking for, is you. Type Amen to get blessing 1777. Archangel Michael says, there is a spiritual alarm ringing louder now than ever. You both are entering a divine countdown. Time is folding. Realities are bending. Soon, you will no longer be able to ignore each other's pull. Don't be surprised if you begin hearing your name when no one is speaking. Don't be afraid if your favorite object suddenly falls. Those are not accidents, they are signals. Your soulmate's cries are starting to reshape the atmosphere around them. People are backing away. Their world is collapsing and rebuilding. Because the old life they had no longer fits the soul that's trying to reunite with yours. They're feeling haunted, but not by pain. By you. Haunted in a holy way. The kind of haunting that feels like destiny tapping on your shoulder, whispering, it's time. Type Amen to get blessing 1888. They are searching through old photos, hoping for a resemblance. They scroll through places you might have been. They replay messages that have nothing to do with you, yet somehow always remind them of you. Someone close to them warned them not to pursue this path again. But they didn't listen. Their heart rejected the warning and instead clung tighter to your essence. You both were separated by design, but never disconnected. You are spiritually married. The contract was signed in a realm where time does not exist. And that contract is now being activated. The ringing in your ears? The goosebumps on your left arm? That's not your imagination. That's the portal of reunion slowly creaking open. Type Amen to get blessing 1999. They looked up at the sky last night and mouthed the word, forgive. They don't even know why yet. But they feel guilt for time lost. For the silence. For the distance. They see you in flashes. Sometimes in reflections. Sometimes in strangers. Sometimes in moments so quiet, even their breath pauses in reverence. They are now ready to burn bridges that blocked the path to you. They don't want half-loves. They don't want distractions. They want you. The one who fits without trying. The one who makes everything feel like poetry. They're hoping, just hoping, you haven't given up. They need to know you're still somewhere believing. Even if it's just a spark. Even if your belief is quiet. They'll hear it. Type Amen to get blessing 2022. Archangel Michael says, in exactly 3 nights, there will be a sign. It may appear as a dream, a name, or a location suddenly popping up over and over again. Don't ignore it. That is their message crossing into your reality. You'll feel a pulling sensation, like you're being summoned. You are. Their heart is sending out signals at frequencies only you can detect. Their crying has become a ritual now. Not from weakness, but from release. Every tear is a message to the divine. A message that says, I'm ready to heal. I'm ready to remember. I'm ready to return. If you suddenly feel like writing, write. That's their message being translated through your hand. If your hands shake, it's because you're not holding theirs yet. But soon, you will. Type Amen to get blessing 2111. They have waited lifetimes for this very moment. The one where this message would finally land in your heart. And now it has. You don't need to run. You don't need to chase. Just stay still. Be open. Let the ache exist. That ache is the trail they are using to find you. They are near. You will meet again, through a moment that feels too strange to be real. It won't be logical. It won't be planned. But it will feel like coming home. And when it happens, you'll cry too. Not from sadness, but from the unexplainable relief of finally recognizing the one soul who's been crying for you, all this time. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. They saw something today that reminded them of you, and it stopped them in their tracks. A scent in the air, a song playing in the distance, the shape of someone's eyes. Everything screamed your name in silence. They paused, looked at the sky, and their lips moved. No one heard what they said, but the sky did. They whispered, please let them know I still care. They're afraid, terrified even, that the delay might have cost them your love. They fear that maybe your heart has locked its doors and thrown away the key. But even then, they keep knocking spiritually, hoping you'll feel it. Type Amen to get blessing 2333. Archangel Michael says, their spirit is exhausted, but they keep holding on because they know you're real. You're not a fantasy. You're a part of them, buried in the folds of their memory, beating in the rhythm of their heartbeat. They saw a photo that resembled you and spent an hour just staring at it. They knew it wasn't you, but their soul pretended it was, just for the comfort. They whispered, "I'm sorry for taking so long to return. There's a clock that stopped in their house last night, exactly at 11:11 p.m. That was no malfunction. That was time pausing to allow destiny to catch up. Your soulmate is not waiting idly. They're preparing. They're shedding all false connections, all distractions, and every illusion that kept them from seeing the truth. It was always you." Type Amen to get blessing 2444. They passed by a florist and were drawn to a specific flower. It didn't make sense to them why they bought it, but they brought it home. The petals reminded them of the color of your aura in their visions. Your absence has created an emptiness they can no longer deny. Even in crowded rooms, they feel alone. Even in laughter, they hear your silence. They dreamt last night that you reached for them, but just before your fingers touched, they woke up. And they've been walking in a fog of sorrow ever since. The kind that only love separated by time can cause. Someone told them to move on, but it triggered something deep inside. They realized, this isn't just about moving on. This is about completing a divine mission. Type Amen to get blessing 2555. They've started talking to your photo, not out loud, but in their mind. Little phrases. Little apologies. Small hopes whispered like prayers with no religion. They're afraid that if you find someone else, they won't survive it. Not because of ego, but because their soul will collapse from heartbreak. You are the anchor they forgot they were tied to. You may feel sudden chest tightness when they think of you. It's not physical. It's the transfer of emotion. A soul-level signal that they still belong with you. They wrote your initials in a notebook this morning. No reason. Just instinct. And then a butterfly landed on the page and didn't move for 5 minutes. Type Amen to get blessing 2666. Archangel Michael says, "The veil is thinning. The invisible line that kept you apart is becoming see-through. The divine realm is ready to reunite what it once separated. Every time they smile now, it feels forced. Every laugh is incomplete. Because it's you they want to share those moments with, not the noise around them. There's a small box they've kept for years, locked with a secret. Inside it is something you once touched. They haven't opened it in ages, but tonight, they will." Type Amen to get blessing 2777. Their family doesn't understand their sadness. Friends have started to drift away. But they don't care anymore, because they've come to understand something: no one will replace you. The candle flame near them flickered blue again last night. That only happens when your soul is near. It danced in rhythm, as if welcoming the presence of your energy. They replay your last known memory in their mind like a sacred movie. It's never blurry. It's always clear. Because your soul carved an imprint too deep to fade. They've stopped asking, "Why now?" and started saying, "Thank you." Gratitude is blooming through the pain. Because your energy coming closer feels like healing at last. Type Amen to get blessing 2888. Your soulmate is preparing a message. It may come through a stranger's words, a digital glitch, or a sudden message that seems meant only for you. Do not ignore it, it's their spirit trying to say what their mouth cannot. They wish they could hug you just once. Not for comfort, but to remind themselves that you are not just a dream stitched by loneliness. The tears have now turned sacred. Each one is an offering to the sky. A plea. A reminder. A love note to the stars that says, "Bring them back to me." Archangel Michael says, "You will be reunited. But you must listen. The path isn't paved in maps, but in feelings. Trust the way your chest tugs when you hear their name." Type Amen to get blessing $29.99. They've begun fasting, not for food, but from all things that aren't you. They've withdrawn their energy from everything false. They want purity. They want soul. They want you. They saw your name in a place they didn't expect, a billboard, a receipt, a stranger's lips. And for the first time in weeks, they smiled with truth behind it. Someone else tried to make them laugh today. They smiled politely, but inside, they screamed. Because that laugh didn't echo. It didn't come from the part of them that still belongs to you. They've written hundreds of messages they never sent. Some filled with joy. Some filled with regret. But all carrying the same ending, "I still love you." Type Amen to get blessing 3111. Tonight, when the wind brushes your skin, know it carries their prayers. When your heart flutters unexpectedly, it's not random. That's their soul grazing yours. You will meet again. And when you do, the silence will say more than any speech. The tears will be mutual. And the relief will feel like resurrection. They may not be perfect, but they were made for you. And the universe is finally moving every piece into place for your reunion. Keep your spirit open. Keep your heart soft. This love was written before you were born. It was signed in the heavens, etched in stars, and sealed in divine breath. And now, it returns.